Hello and good morning. Welcome to another Fife Property market update. And this is for week commencing the 15th to the 21st. So this is where we do a run through of everything that was happening on Rightmove with all agencies across Fife. So we'll look at the statistics for last week. We then also take a look at what we in particular were doing as an agency. So what we have sold, what we have got coming soon, and also what has completed, just so that you get an insight into what is happening in the market to help you make informed decisions. And then we'll do a run through of the shows that have taken place just to give you an understanding and get some brilliant bits of information and facts. So that is what this show is all about. If you're regular to this show, then brilliant. You know that you can ask questions, you can make comments, and I'll come back to you. If you're not, then welcome. This is a great insight to help you get informed of what is happening, whether you are buying, whether you are selling, whether you're already on the market, or whether you are just curious. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments, message us privately if you prefer, or even call the office and speak with a member of the team. But this is just where we do a run through of what has been taking place. So the first thing is we'll look at last week's statistics. So I will pull them up on the screen for you, and you should be able to see them just there. So it's broken down into micro regions, and micro regions mean each of the postcodes within Fife. So you can see there from Cooper right down to Kirkcaldy, each micro region. So these statistics are pulled from Rightmove, and it's every agent that lists on Rightmove, and it's new instructed properties and properties that have accepted offers. And it gives you an indication of what has been instructed and what has sold. So it is key if you're perhaps sitting with a property in this area, or if you've been looking to buy in that area, it gives you an insight. Now, what we do say is 1 week doesn't make a trend, and remember that. It just gives you a kind of a snapshot and a hint at what has been like. The best show to watch is when I do the monthly one and I do the month statistics, and that gives you a better idea, because you get more kind of meat on the bone, if you like, because there's a lot more obviously information. The figures are more accurate because it tends to be about 4 weeks rather than just a month. So this is where we will have a look. So we'll go through each micro region briefly, but straight away you can see there was 149 properties instructed versus 126 properties sold. Now that is probably the biggest difference we have seen in numbers for quite a while. And normally there's only a kind of less than 10 in difference between instructed and sold. Now there is some micro regions that did instruct more last week than what they do tend to as average. So there was obviously just heightened activity within those areas, and that's why we say 1 week doesn't make a trend. For example, if I was to pick out a few off the top, Cooper doesn't normally instruct as many as 14. St Andrews doesn't normally instruct as many as 15. Even Leavenmouth, as much as that's a really strong market, 17 is a higher number. Your 55 and 66 is actually average for Dunfermline, and it's funny because Dunfermline's the one that normally kind of skew whiffs the statistics. Kirkcaldy 29, maybe slightly more, but not drastically more than normal. So there is some of the areas that have instructed slightly more, but it's bound to be. This is the season that everybody has been waiting for. It's the spring, summer months. It's your gardens in full bloom. It's the lighter evenings if you're doing evening viewings. It's brighter skies. It's just, and everybody's naturally in a more positive mindset, and this is when people look to move. So that is why we are seeing an increase in properties coming to market, but it still does show that there's 126 buyers out there and 126 people offered on properties in Fife last week. So then if you were to do a run through, East Nuke, for example, 5 versus 3, a wee bit lower than what they have been seeing. The last couple of weeks, it has been slightly higher. St Andrews to only have 5 sold is again slightly lower than what we have been seeing, and it's been more your 8 and your 9. Leavenmouth, strong numbers, and Leavenmouth will always be strong. It's obviously the investment that's been put into the area. We're still seeing that positive impact even a year down the line. So there is some obviously interesting numbers there, but that just gives you a brief overview of the statistics. If you have a property in that particular area and you are curious of evaluation, you're thinking about going to market, or perhaps you're even on the market and you're maybe not getting the results that you were expecting, reach out to us, whether it be drop us a message, whether you pick up the phone. We're more than happy to speak with you and give you a slightly more insight and a bit more in detail into terms of your particular area. What I will say is that is your resale homes only, so that is not taking into account the new build developments. For new build developments, there was one new property available in St Andrews. There was 3 in the Leavenmouth area. There was 1 in Glenrothes and 2 in Kirkcaldy. So that's new plots, if you like, that were advertised and obviously ready to be purchased. But we don't like to put those in because it's not a direct kind of comparable. It's almost like comparing apples with oranges. But that just gives you an insight into the new builds. So that was your statistics. So I will take those off the screen. But now we're going to take a look at what we were doing in particular as an agency last week. So we're going to start with properties that we accepted offers on. So we will start with the solds, and this one I'm excited to show you because it was a brilliant result, absolutely fantastic. So the first one that we accepted an offer on last week was Peter Howling Place in Anstruther. Absolutely stunning property. If you hadn't seen this one, I would strongly recommend you go back and take a look at it because it is absolutely immaculate. Not only has it got that curb appeal you can see just there, but when you step foot into this property, it is like stepping foot into a show home. It is absolutely stunning, incredible standard. So the sellers were absolutely delighted that we got people through the door at pre-portal. So the people that have purchased this property saw the pre-portal and acted fast. They jumped on it, and that is exactly what the pre-portal is intended to do. It is your opportunity to get in there before anybody else, and that's exactly what they did. They jumped on it. We got them through the door. We did an out of hours viewing. We got them through the door. Offer accepted. It was absolutely brilliant results. The sellers are delighted. We sold it in 2 weeks, and it's a high price point because it was on for offers over 400,000. So it's a higher price point. Sold in 2 weeks. Absolutely fantastic. So the sellers are delighted because it allows them to move on with their journey, but the buyers are absolutely over the moon that they have secured this property. They are both upsizing and coming together, and what a fantastic family home to move into while getting to stay in the area that they love. So it really does tick all of the boxes for them. It was a 4-bedroom detached family home, garage, big plot to the front, garden to the rear, but it was absolutely immaculate. So it was great to have that one over the line, higher price point, sold in 2 weeks. So if you have a property similar to this, even if it's not within that development and that scheme somewhere else, perhaps in the East Snook, and you perhaps that kind of footprint, also maybe that kind of standard, please do reach out to us because there was people that missed out on this property. But because the buyers acted fast, they were the first one through the door. But there was people that have missed out. We did have offers on the property, so please do reach out and we can get you results just like this property. Next one, slightly different area, was Catherine Street in Cooper. So this is the Royal Mews building. If you are local to Cooper, you will recognise it. It's prime positioning. It is just across from the park. You actually do get views because actually it's these windows at the top here that you see, but they also have windows down the side here. So they've kind of got views from both angles. And it's a big, spacious property. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, which a lot of people weren't expecting, but it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom upper apartment, views across the park and countryside, great sized rooms, and a really central location because you've got about a minute's walk and you can be at the train station. And it's in a beautiful character building as well, the Royal Mews building. So that one was great to get over the line. It was on for offers over 115,000. So the sellers are delighted that we're able to offload it. Likewise, the buyer is delighted to be moving to the area and take full advantage of that apartment. Plus, it was a wee bit of a blank canvas. So they're able to go in there and also put their own stamp on it and really make it their own, which is something they're also excited to do. So that is what we sold last week. So we will now take a look at what we have got coming soon. So this is where myself and Perry have been out to do valuations, and we've signed up the properties and they're coming to market with us. So we do come in soon. So this is where I give you a little hint and a brief of what we've got coming up. But the way that you actually find out more detail is you need to be following our social media pages. Now we have one for each relevant area that we sell property in. So if you're looking in East Snook, follow the East Snook page. If you're looking in the Caber 8 area, follow the Leven page, etc. We've got one for each area, but you are looking for the pre-portal. That's where you see the agent's face, you see the words pre-portal, and that means you need to act fast. That is then your prime opportunity. You watch that full video walkthrough. It's almost like your virtual viewing, but it's your preview of the property before it goes live to your Rightmove, your Zoopla, and your S1 Homes. you need to act fast. So see that full video walkthrough, listen for the price point at the end. We do say the price point of every single property at the very end. So don't just skip it off, don't go to the end. You need to be listening to the end to get the price point. And if it is something that ticks your boxes and you're a cash buyer ready to act fast and you can make our seller an offer that they just cannot refuse, then please do reach out, whether it be messages, whether it be pick up the phone, because you want to get in there before anybody else, and that is your prime opportunity to be doing that, and that is what a pre-portal is. So I'll do a run through of where we have properties coming to market. If any of them sound obviously like something you're looking for, please do reach out to us, but make sure you're following all the pages. But the first one is Sweary in Newborough, and this is a 2-bedroom upper flat in the 4 in a block. Now you may be wondering where Sweary is. It's similar to kind of Woodruff and Woodlands. It's as you're coming out of Newborough, you go up the hill and over the train track, and it's up there on the hill. So because you're up on that hill, you get stunning views. And from this apartment, you've got a great big window in the living room space, and you can just sit and see straight across. You can see right across to Perth and beyond. It's absolutely stunning views, completely uninterrupted. And the way that you're elevated means those views are going nowhere. They are there to stay. So that is a brilliant property to invest in. As I say, it's a 2-bedroom. It's really spacious. So I am doing the pre-portal for that one tomorrow, actually, so you don't have to wait long on the Cooper page for that one. Next is Acorn Court in Cellardyke. Now, this is a 3-bedroom semi-detached property. The pre-portal will actually be going on either later today or tomorrow. 3-bedroom semi-detached, driveway, garden to the front and to the back. Moving condition, ready to go, really spacious, so much storage with this property as well, which makes it an ideal family home. It's within the Silver Dykes development, which we know is desirable because your proximity to, obviously walking down to the harbour, the Fife Coastal Path, the open water tidal pool, you've got your local primary school, you've got Wade Academy, so it's a really brilliant family home. Next, you've got Queen's Garden in Anstruther. Now, the pre-portal actually went on last night for this one, and boy, did it hit off. It's been shared far and wide. It's had so many views. So if you are looking for the 3-bedroom semi-detached in Anstruther that's tucked right away, so you go into the cul-de-sac and you are like one of the very last properties tucked in the corner. There's no through road. You overlook Drillside play area, 3-bedroom driveway, garage, conservatory, landscape garden, completely private. You don't feel overlooked. Like, it's a brilliant, brilliant family home that's not to be missed. So if that sounds what you're looking for, head to the eSnook page and watch the pre-portal that I put on yesterday. And if it is something that you're looking for, you need to jump on it fast. Next one is Links Road in Leven, and this is a 2-bedroom semi-detached property. Links Road, you know it's desirable, you know it's a great location, so you don't want to miss out on this one. So Perry will be doing the pre-portal for that one. Now that obviously weather depending, hopefully it will be on by close of business tomorrow. But it is an absolutely fantastic location. So keep a lookout for Perry's pre-portal on the Leven page. Obviously, as I say, weather depending for tomorrow. Then next we have Queen Elizabeth Road in Pittenweem. So this one is just around the corner from West Bray. So it's a brilliant location because you're literally like not even a minute's walk and you are literally right at the sea. Panoramic, uninterrupted views. It's a great plot as well, this one. So it's a 2-bedroom semi-detached property. It's got a great big living room with a feature log burner. You then walk through into this open plan dining kitchen. It's got a great big garden at the rear as well. So it's a fantastic property. Brilliant location as well, so it really is not to be missed. So that one I will be doing the pre-portal for shortly, so you just need to keep a look on the eSnook page. Then finally we have Kirkland Walk in Methil. This is a 3-bedroom ground floor flat. Now, as we know, obviously that kind of price point, that kind of location is desirable. It doesn't take long to get snapped up, and we always find this. Now, 3-bedroom as well. It's a ground floor flat, so if you're looking for that one level living, then this could actually be the one for you. But we always know anything that we put up around that price point, because of the affordability and who it caters to and the location, it does get snapped up. So you're looking for Perry's pre-portal that will be on by the end of the week, and you need to act fast and jump fast because that one is going to be a popular one. But that is what we have coming soon. As I say, if you have any questions on that, then please do reach out and speak with us, and we can obviously keep you informed. But finally, we'll look at completed. So this is property that has now gone through the conveyancing stage, missives are signed, and the new buyer is enjoying their home. And we have Wagon Road in Leatham, which is a 3-bedroom ground floor apartment offering that one level living. So a bit like what I was just saying, that one this will get snapped up. We've just obviously concluded on one. It's a great one to add value as well. And we've got 3,000 over the home report. And the new owners are delighted that they're able to have that one level living, and they'll be going to go in and add their own kind of stamp and put their own touch on it. So that is what we completed. So before we round up the show, let's do a look at the shows that have taken place, so you can go back and rewatch. Now, of course, every Monday you have the wealth creation show. So let me just see. So yes, yesterday, 12:30, always live, you have the wealth creation show with Richard Cook, the lettings director, and Jim Parker, one of the UK's most successful property investors. And they always go on hand every Monday live, discussing a brilliant topic that really gets you thinking, but gives you great insights. So yesterday's was actually about growing a business, and growing a business involves strategically expanding its reach, resources, and impact. And this can be achieved through various strategies, including increasing sales to existing and new customers, improving products and your services, developing new offerings, and attracting those new investments. A well-defined growth strategy incorporating elements like your market research and sales funnel development and new customer relationships, while also continue to work on those existing customer relations, are all crucial for success in business. So if this sounds like something you want to take an insight from or take tips, whether you're looking to start out a business, you want to expand your business, or if you're just a business owner that's purely curious, that's a brilliant one to go back and rewatch. As I say, it was live yesterday, but you can watch the rerun. And feel free as well, if you have any of your own hints and tips and success stories, or even maybe things that you want advice and support on, put them in the comments or message privately, and they'll be more than happy to come back with you, and obviously do what they can to help, or hear obviously what you've got to say. Another show that was done was Perry and I did a show last week, and it was close to 2 in 10 Fife homes fail to sell. It had some brilliant statistics in there that you wouldn't have been expecting. Now, obviously, the figure can obviously shift depending on, how accurate the property is priced, how it is marketed, the buyer demand, the demographics. But it's not just about the price you list at, but it's actually what your house actually sells for. So that one is a brilliant one if you're perhaps selling on the market, buying in Fife. So that was a show that, as I say, Perry and I did last week. So certainly go back and watch that one. Now there was one more, so let's have a wee look. So the other one that was about compliance traps and the perils and pitfalls every landlord needs to avoid. So that one would have been with Karen and Richard. So you've got the lettings director, Richard, and Karen, the lettings agent, and they were on discussing the compliance and the laws behind it, from poor practices in the past to today's rules, and the helping ensuring safe housing, clear business terms, equal treatment for all tenants, and how obviously if you are a landlord, to make sure you don't fall into any kind of traps. So if you are a landlord, or even if you're looking to start out and create your own portfolio, then that's definitely a brilliant one to go back and watch as well. But that's been another update. So if you do have any questions on it or any comments, feel free to put them. We will come back to you if you're not watching this live. But have an amazing week. We will see you throughout the week. And then I will see you next Tuesday live at 10 o'clock again for another update. All the best. Take care.